And just to introduce myself, I'm Kyle Holmberg. I work in MGED's Communications and Energy Services Department. I just celebrated my 3-year anniversary here. I'm a lifelong resident of Middleborough. I grew up, went to Middleborough schools, and I still reside here today. So we're here to discuss MGED's rebate programs and the correct steps to take when you're having, work done on your home and applying for rebates. So I'll go ahead and introduce the rest of the presenters today. From MGED, we have Danny Taylor and Kevin Boyle.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Danny Taylor, and my position here at Middleborough Gas and Electric is Energy Services Specialist. I primarily work with solar, commercial accounts, our appliance rebates, and community solar. I have been with MGED for about 5 years. I've had some experience at the gas division, along with years ago, some part-time work in customer service. So I look forward to speaking with you today and answer any questions you may have.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Kyle. My name is Kevin Boyle. I am a member of the Energy Services team here at Middleborough Gas and Electric. I've been with the company a little over 5.5 years. Initially, I started off on the operations side with electric transmission and distribution. Now I am up here part of the Energy Services team. I mostly focus on heat pumps, weatherization, and electric vehicles. And like Kyle, myself, I'm born and raised here, and now I'm raising my family here.
And we're also joined today by Sarah, Katie, and Taisha of Energy New England. Oh, Sarah, you're muted.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Doherty. I'm the operations manager for the conservation department over at Energy New England. I have been here. We're headquartered in Mansfield. I have been here since June of 2018. I manage a 10-person team in the conservation department. So we have 6 people on the home energy assessment side and 3 on the rebate processing side. I also run the solar and commercial and industrial rebate programs, and then work with our department director, Noel Chambers, on strategy and program updates. Katie, go ahead if you want to introduce yourself.
I'm Katie Hartwell. I am one of the rebate processing specialists for Energy New England. I have been here for just about a year. And before working with Energy New England, I kind of worked in customer service in many different fields. So I am trying to bring that perspective here with Energy New England with their rebates process. And I'm sorry, I have a cough drop, so I have a very scratchy throat. But the rebate process is making the rebates more accessible for customers, easier for customers, at the same time making it the best opportunities for Middleborough. So thank you.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yep.
My name is Taisha, and I joined E&E about a month ago. And I come from banking. I used to work at Rockland Federal Credit Union, so I'm just bringing over a lot of my customer service skills and, learning as I go. And I'm just glad to be a part of the team.
Great, thank you. So now we'll move into an introduction of Energy New England. Like I said, they're partnered with Middleborough Gas and Electric, and there we go. So we'll just go over, where they're located, their goals, their partnership with MGED, who they serve, and some of the services that they provide.
Sure. Okay, so we are located in Mansfield, Mass, right at the intersection of 495 and 95. And the conservation department is one of 3 departments. And we basically, the conservation department exists because of a statutory requirement in Massachusetts that says every municipal light plant must offer residential conservation services in their service territory, and it requires that they spend 1/4% of the previous year's gross annual revenue on residential conservation services, which basically means, in plain English, they have to do a certain number of home energy assessments, and then anything additional in residential services like rebates, EV support, a solar program. That's just additional icing on the cake, and designed to meet Middleborough's needs. And we work with MGED. We provide all of your home energy audits. So when you schedule an audit, you're communicating with us. When you take the intake survey, you are filling out a survey that is through our website. And then on the rebate side, when you apply online for a rebate, that is a portal that we administrate. And then Katie and Taisha, they validate all the residential rebates. And then we have another team member who issues checks and does the month end. And we run the rebate programs that we run are appliance, lawn, weatherization, heat pumps, EV, and solar.
Perfect. So now that we know a little bit about E&E, we'll move into MGED's rebate programs. We offer rebate programs and everything from solar, weatherization, insulation, heat pumps, electric vehicles, Energy Star appliances, and even cordless electric yard equipment, which we just started rebating last year. Our programs are designed in accordance with state guidelines and look to save energy and reduce carbon emissions. And because our rebate programs are not treated as investments into private property, we don't rebate less efficient technologies like furnaces or boilers. We try to push customers into electrification and heat pumps. So I guess we'll get started with the first one, which would be solar. So Danny, could you speak to that, please?
Absolutely. Thanks, Kyle. So here at MGED, there are over 16 megawatts of privately owned solar installations that operate between Middleborough and Lakeville. These solar installations include rooftop and yard solar arrays, commercial arrays, and large-scale solar fields, which include community solar projects, which we'll touch on a little bit later. MGED purchases excess power from homeowners and all power production from commercial installations and solar fields, which feed into our distribution equipment. By doing this allows the owners to gain financial benefit of power sales and the dividend of solar renewable energy credit sales, also known as SRECs. So here at MGED, we offer two different types of solar for both residential and commercial. These are known as net metering and renewable distributed generation, also known as RDG for short. So let's get into net metering first. Net metering, which you'll typically see on a residential property, is sized up to 25 kW. A bidirectional meter, otherwise known as a net meter, allows the excess energy produced by the solar array that is not immediately used by your home to be sent back out to the MGED electric lines and used by others while you receive a credit to your account. This net metering allows the owner to take electricity from MGED service lines anytime that your solar array is not meeting the needs of your home. Next, RDG, renewable distributed generation, is a system that's sized between 25 kW to 150 kW. It may be tied to a premise or not. If the system is tied to a premise, the excess amount generated, but not used by the home or business, there'll be a credit applied to the customer's account quarterly. If the system is not tied to a premise, all excess production would be a check that is cut quarterly. Once you have decided if you would like to install solar, here are the steps to apply with MGED. First, together, the customer and their installer must fill out an interconnection agreement. A one-line drawing of the system along with specifications showing materials, panels, and inverters must be sent in with the interconnection application. These documents are then sent to our electrical engineer who will review them. Then the electrical engineer will notify you if your system is approved. If approved, a $250 application fee will be applied to your MGED account. Next, which is a very important step, if you wish to receive a rebate, you must apply to Energy New England, E&E, prior to installation for pre-approval. You must receive pre-approval from E&E before installation begins. This is to ensure you're eligible for a rebate. The pre-approval process can take between 4 to 6 weeks, so we highly suggest you wait those extra 4 to 6 weeks. Customers then must obtain an electrical permit from the town wire inspector before installation. Then, once your installation is complete, you should then call a town wire inspector again for your final inspection. After that final inspection, you have another inspection with an MGED technician who will need to complete a system inspection prior to activation. From here, Middleborough Gas and Electric will then complete our certificate of completion and will send you a copy along with a permission to operate letter. If you are qualified for solar rebate, MGED will work with E&E and E&E will arrange for payment of your rebate. Most rebates are typically issued within 8 weeks of receiving all required documentation. For more information regarding solar, a solar guide is available to our customers on our website, which will also be sent out in the follow-up email. Now for rebates regarding net metering and RDG. Net metering, which is a residential system, which is sized up to 25 kW, the rebate amount is 60 cents per watt, which is capped up to $15,000. RDG, which is typically commercial, with some residential, if they have the room to support a larger system, is sized between 25 kW and 150 kW. This rebate amount is 50 cents per watt, capped up to $50,000, which is paid over 4 years. In order to receive this rebate, owners must commit their SRECs to MGED's portfolio, and our partner E&E approves the rebate applications and will track those SRECs. Lastly, homeowners must install and maintain a locus meter to track the SRECs. Your installer will help install that locus meter for your system, and this is a requirement to be eligible for the rebate. Lastly, community solar projects. MGED offers community solar, which helps customers gain the benefits of solar without all the commitment. Community solar is different from installing a solar array on your property. These differences are that you do not have to purchase, install, and operate a solar array on your property. The community solar program is a community shared solar program for customers who opt to share the benefits and or risks of a large solar array installed within the MGED service territory without the cost of installation. Community solar is a shared solar supply, which is a solar panel system which supplies electric power and is shared by more than one household or business. In order to be part of community solar, MGED customers that are in good standing are eligible to participate. The maximum number of participants is 340. Currently, the program is maxed out, but we do offer a wait list for those who wish to be part of the program. So be sure to put your name on the list if interested, as spots do open up throughout the year. Community solar is listed on your bill as a separate line item, which is an $8 a month credit. So when you do get that follow-up email, there is a link there that you'll be able to put your name on the wait list. Thank you all for joining me to talk about solar and community solar, and make sure to check out the follow-up email.
And Sarah, could you share a little bit about what customers can expect on the E&E side when applying for solar?
Yes, okay. So we have an online application that you can fill out. And you have to upload a few required documents. And just like Danny said, you need to have the net metering application at least in with Middleborough Gas and Electric, and it has to be approved before E&E will review your rebate application. You can submit the solar application to us at the same time that you submit your net metering application. We just will wait for MGED to review and approve your application, and then we validate your application according to a few system requirements, and then we'll issue a rebate reservation letter, and that states the amount that your rebate is. And it also gives you a deadline to install and also complete all of your completion documents like the wiring permit, the permission to operate, and then you submit a batch of completion documents to the portal, and E&E validates that, and then we cut you a check. And it sounds like a simple process. There's a few areas, a few trouble spots, I think, that people either find confusing or just could use a little help with. The first one is just to make sure that your installer submits the interconnection or net metering application with MGED, because you really can't do anything without that. That is basically a prerequisite to applying for the solar rebate. So think about it as Middleborough Gas and Electric is approving the design of your system, and then E&E is approving the rebate only. So it's two separate areas. Middleborough has to do the design approval first. The other troubleshooting area is make sure your installer helps you out. The application can be, it has a little bit of solar jargon in there. So if you're not really familiar with the industry, it can be a little confusing. And then the other thing is making sure that your solar installer orders the locus meter, which is in addition to Middleborough's meter. So the locus meter is what allows E&E on behalf of Middleborough to track and retire your SRECs.
Perfect. Thank you, Danny and Sarah. Next, we'll move on to Kevin Boyle, who'll speak to MGED's heat pump water heater, weatherization, insulation, and electric vehicle rebates.
Thanks, Kyle. To reiterate what Kyle said at the beginning, we have a lot of content that has to come out pretty quickly. So there will be a follow-up email, and if anything, if I move a little too fast, you can find that info there. But in my areas that I focus on, the first would be heat pumps. And our next webinar we'll do next month, we'll take a deep dive into heat pump, but very briefly, what is a heat pump? Traditional heating systems and water burners burn fuel to create heat. A heat pump and a heat pump water heater instead work by drawing heat from the surrounding air. They work in a similar way to air conditioners, but in reverse, using a transfer of heat over coils, extracting heat from the air, which is moved into and out of the home. Aside from the obvious environmental benefits, people who currently have conventional electric resistance or propane heating systems can save anywhere from 50 to 70% on energy costs by heating with an air source heat pump instead. At current fuel prices, oil households can save in the area of 30%. And, if you couple that with the traditionally low electric rates in MGED, the service territory, your savings will add up. We at MGED continue to partner with the team at Abode Energy Management to help guide our customers who are considering heat pumps for their homes. Abode's heat pump specialists are dedicated to providing you with a no-cost, objective, and impartial advice on heat pumps and how they may be a good fit for your home. This includes guidance in selecting a qualified contractor and quote comparisons. When you're ready to start your consultation, just click on Abode's heat pump link, which is on the MGED's heat pump page under our rebate section. In order to qualify, one must, of course, reside in, own a single family detached, multifamily attached up to 4 dwelling units, or mobile home, apartment, or condo up to 4 dwelling units in Middleborough, Lakeville, our service territory. Customers should have a pre-qualifying home energy evaluation or an audit completed within the last 2 years before installation of your system, to ensure optimal performance. Homeowners and contractors who wish to verify rebate eligibility prior to system installation may opt into submitting an optional rebate pre-approval form. Contractors can submit the optional pre-approval form online with details on the proposed equipment, and Abode will review the project to verify it qualifies for MGED rebates. This step will ensure that all the proposed work will meet the rebate guidelines upfront. After contractor has done the work, post-installation, Abode will provide a quality assurance process that all heat pump projects must follow in order to receive a rebate. After installation is complete, your contractor must submit this install QA form to Abode. The form is submitted online and requires documentation, including pictures of the installed equipment. Both the contractor and customer will receive an email confirmation once reviewed and approved. Again, I'm going to jump real quickly over to weatherization and a little, segue. Middleborough, Lakeville, being old New England villages, are kind of traditionally characterized by old colonial homes. These older homes are notoriously drafty and poorly insulated. With insulation in place, even the average newer American home can leak its volume of air in less than an hour. Thus, your heating system will need to run every hour just to replenish those leaks. Air sealing, insulating your home are crucial steps to take before you install a new clean energy system. A better sealed, more insulated home will save you money on operating costs and reduce your carbon emissions throughout the year. Our partners at Energy New England can help improve your thermal envelope by offering a no-cost home energy audit that will specifically target problem areas such as, and not limited to, insulation, including attic and ventilation, wall, basement, and rim joist, air sealing measures such as caulking, weather stripping, and gaskets, and heating system pipe and duct installation, among others. You will receive a home energy assessment report that does analyze your home's energy usage and identifies home improvement projects that can lower your energy costs. And an important safety note, in order to qualify for this weatherization rebate, installed weatherization improvements must pass a quality assurance inspection provided by Abode. In order to pass this inspection, the home must not have any health or safety issues either created by the installed weatherization improvements or pre-existing in the home and exacerbated by the installed improvements. These health and safety issues can include, but are not limited to, issues with the heating system or other combustion appliance that will result in harmful combustion byproducts inside the house. Insulation in contact with electrical and or heat sources that pose a fire hazard, and also inadequate ventilation in the home that poses a moisture accumulation and air quality risk. These health and safety factors are consistent with building code and energy efficient program requirements across the state. Installation weatherization measures in accordance with these requirements is the responsibility of the weatherization contractor or subcontractor, if applicable. If health and safety issues exist in the home following the weatherization install, they will need to be resolved before a weatherization rebate can be provided by Middleborough Gas and Electric. In order to avoid any of these issues with contractors, we strongly urge customers to look at the list maintained by a boat on their website of preferred participating contractors. So in order to receive a rebate on your weatherization, once recommended improvements are completed, prepare an electronic scan or copy of your itemized receipts and upload online and include any contractor info that's relevant, name, address, phone number. Return to the Middleborough Gas and Electric Rebates webpage and click on the Ready to Apply beside the installation rebate notice and follow the instructions of the Energy New England rebate page to apply online. You can call Energy New England if you have any trouble at all filling out the paperwork. Somebody there can walk you through it. But all these applications and itemized receipts must be completed for rebate eligibility or availability. And lastly, onto electric vehicles. In the US, the transportation sector, a little fact, is the largest emitter of greenhouse gases. Massachusetts has adopted one of the most aggressive carbon-free initiatives looking to reduce these greenhouse gases emissions by 50% by 2030. One of our many actions here at Middleborough Gas and Electric is our electric vehicle program in order to help and aid in this electric vehicle transition. MGED continues our partnership with Energy New England and to help assist our EV programs from our customers in Middleborough and Lakeville. All MGED EV rebates can be found on our website when ready to apply. Links will automatically redirect you to E&E's application page. Very, very simple. The second drive program is an EV purchase program, which provides a rebate of up to $2,500. This rebate will be provided at purchase to reduce the cost of a full battery or plug-in hybrid pre-owned electric vehicle. To qualify, the net sale price before taxes and fees must be under $15,000. The vehicle must have less than 50,000 miles and have had to have 2 or less previous owners. This transaction is considered a cash on the hood incentive and is provided at point of sale through a participating dealer. Those dealers are listed on the E&E EV site. We do also provide a level 2 charger rebate. This provides $300 for installed in-home electric vehicle chargers. Eligible residents only need to provide a level 2 charger purchase, vehicle registration, and electrician's invoice to qualify. That's a very simple, almost a simple rebate. Customers who have installed a level 2 electric vehicle charger at their home and have applied for a rebate on the charger are also eligible for an off-peak charging reward through our Smart Charge program. Funding for the Smart Charge program is coming from money budgeted per the Mass DEP that requires utilities in the state to set aside 1/4% of revenues for residential conservation services, including electrification efforts. Excuse me. Unfortunately, this program is temporarily on pause. The previous vendor we use for tracking our demand response kind of abruptly shut that program down, but we have identified someone new, or E&E has identified someone new, and that will be rolling out within the next couple of months. So that should be here soon. And lastly, state and federal rebates. If you're in the market to purchase electric vehicle, you can check out www.moreev.org. That's www.mor-ev.org. More EV is through the state, and any applications submitted on or after November 10th, 2022 for vehicles purchased or leased prior to this date, rebates for eligible battery electric or fuel cell vehicles. That one always trips me up. With a sale price of $50,000 or less will be awarded a $3,500 rebate. Eligible battery electric or fuel cell vehicles with a sale price of $55,000 or less and with a purchase or lease date on or after November 10th, 2022 may qualify for a $3,500 rebate. And also lease vehicles that have a term of at least 36 months will also be eligible. And any federal rebates can be found on the MGED page under our IRA Inflation Reduction Act link. For federal, beginning January 1st, 2023, if you buy a qualified used electric vehicle or fuel cell vehicle from a licensed dealer for $25,000 or less, you may be eligible for a used clean vehicle tax credit, also referred previously as the owned clean vehicle credit. The credit equals 30% of the sale price up to a maximum credit of $4,000. If you bought a new qualified plug-in electric vehicle in 2022 or before, you may be eligible for a clean vehicle tax credit up to $7,500 under the Internal Revenue Code Section 30D. And just to wrap up, both those state and federal rebates are income eligible, but it's geared towards a moderate income household. I think the cap for filing jointly is 300,000 annual income, and filing alone is 150,000 income. So it's pretty robust and encompassing.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. You had a lot to talk about there. Take a breather. So next we'll move into MGED's simple rebates. So that includes Energy Star appliances, and then we also do cordless electric yard equipment. But before we move into that, I just want to reiterate one of the things Kevin said. Our next webinar is Tuesday, April 25th, and that's Heat Pumps 101 with a BODE. So customers can sign up on mged.com/webinar. I'll have the sign up sheet up there this week, and much like this one, you can sign up and submit questions ahead of time that we'll get to during the Q&A for that. So for our simple rebates, which would be Energy Star appliances, we rebate a dehumidifier and a Wi-Fi thermostat. The two of those, we aim to reduce carbon emissions and promote electrification. The dehumidifier is actually one of the more energy consuming things we'll see during kind of like the wet seasons. I know customers will call and see a spike in their bill, and one of the first things we ask is if they started using a dehumidifier, because you leave it running 24/7 and it actually has quite a large pull of electricity. So definitely that's one of the things that's worth upgrading if you have an older one in your home. And then the Wi-Fi thermostat as well. That's really neat because you can set it from your phone, and you can actually have it heat up your home on its own when at the time that you usually wake up, and then at the time that you'll be going to bed, it'll turn itself down and stay down throughout the night, which is more efficient than sometimes if you turn up that a little more, a couple degrees more, your heating system is working that much harder. So, and then for the cordless electric yard equipment, this is a new, I have to go to the next slide. There we go. This is a new rebate that we started offering last year as part of an effort to get customers more comfortable using battery technology. So there's a lot that goes into these, but the rebate process is very easy. So we offer a rebate on both riding and push lawnmowers. For those, there's a lifetime of 10 years. So you can only be rebated once every 10 years for each of these. The riding lawnmower is $200 rebate, and the push is a $100 rebate. We also do cordless electric chainsaws, hedge trimmers, pressure washers, and rototillers. The lifetime for those is 5 years, and the rebate amount is $40. Then we do leaf blowers, which is a 5-year lifetime and a $30 rebate. String trimmers and edgers, which is also a 5-year lifetime, and that's a $25 rebate. And then just at the beginning of the winter, we added snow blowers, but we require that they come with a battery and a charger, and a minimum of a 20-inch width and minimum 56-volt power. In communicating with other municipal light plants in Massachusetts, that was kind of the minimum size and power to actually be able to withstand a New England winter. So that's why we have those requirements. And for all of these simple rebates, the only required supporting documentation would be proof of purchase. So you would take a picture or submit, like a PDF of your receipt. So if that includes the description, purchase date, and price, and also the store that you purchase it from, that's all you need for the rebate for those. Now, this is something that doesn't apply to too many customers, but it's actually a pretty big offering for Lakeville residents who are also Eversource natural gas customers. They're eligible to receive up to $10,000 for a whole home heat pump installation. So that would be switching away from natural gas. And then Eversource also offers no cost air sealing and 75 to 100% off of approved insulation improvements. One of the requirements for that is actually for both of these, is the completion of a new home energy assessment provided by Mass Save. So they will not honor a energy assessment through Middleborough Gas and Electric and Energy New England. They require one through Mass Save, and that's available on their website. So after that, we'll move to the importance of home energy audits. Now that you've heard about all of the rebate offerings MGED has, this is really for a lot of them the first step and a requirement, especially for the heat pump and weatherization rebates. And even if you're not looking for a rebate or having work done in your home, we do suggest having a home energy audit done, especially if you've just bought the home in the past few years and you're not too familiar with the ins and outs of it. It'll really give you a baseline and help you understand your home and the insulation, and even moving forward, some of the work that you should have done. So Sarah, could you explain what customers can expect when they have a home energy audit done and why one is required for some of the rebates that we offer?
Sure. So customers can expect, we do both in-person and virtual audits. An in-person visit, you can expect your auditor to come and walk around your home. They'll go into your attic if you have one. They'll go into your basement or crawl space. You can expect them to be kind of crawling around your house or apartment for about 30 to 60 minutes. It really depends on the age of your home, and also if your home has already had an assessment in our record. So sometimes the home energy assessor can consult a report from, let's say, 4 or 5 years ago, and they'll already have some information on your home. And so the energy advisor will be in your home for about 30 to 60 minutes, and then you will receive a home energy assessment report in 1 to 2 business days. And that is a pretty detailed report about HVAC, insulation, if you have a pool or an EV, it looks at your lighting, it looks at your appliances. It basically provides the energy profile, the current energy profile of your house, and then also provides if you were to upgrade to an energy efficient option. So anything that is in your house that we assess, we provide what the energy efficient option would be. And in some cases, like newer houses, they are considered weatherized if they were built past, I think it's the year 2000, just built differently, different code. So the energy assessment report will tell you that. And then it also, the software will give project cost estimates, and then they'll give you an actual value for return on investment. So it's basically the number of years that your energy savings will pay back your project costs. So it helps prioritize what kind of projects you want to do. They're your quick hits, and then they're your bigger projects like heat pumps or insulation. And to sign up, I see here, does E&E offer free samples of energy savings products? Yes, so it could be anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks after your appointment, you're gonna get a package with a few light bulbs in it, a few gasket switches. I believe there's a smart strip in there that will arrive at your door. We used to do direct installs, but because of COVID, we stopped doing those. So now you get an energy savings kit delivered to you after our month closes. And so to sign up, there are links all over Middleborough's website. There, if you go to our website, there are several buttons telling you to click here to begin the intake survey for the for a home energy assessment. So you must complete that intake survey because that basically gets you into the scheduling queue. So that you take online. If you aren't comfortable using a computer, you don't have access to a computer, you can call us. We have a toll-free number. We also have an email address that you can email us. So we'll help you fill out the intake survey. Once we get that, one of our customer service representatives will contact you either via email or phone to set up an appointment. Right now, we are booking for in-person, I believe, into the beginning of June. Virtual assessments, I believe, are booked to the end of April at this time. Generally, the requests for home energy assessments has skyrocketed. I think that's happening all over the state. So the wait time is a little bit longer than it usually is. And we apologize for that. But that's how you sign up. And it's important to have that energy assessment because you want to target your improvements, your projects in a smart way. So for example, you really want to make sure that your house is well insulated before you do a heat pump project, because there's no use in having an energy efficient heat pump if all of that heat immediately evaporates into the outside. So it's just a very useful report, very detailed, and the energy advisor is happy to go over it with you, even if you have questions years later. So we're here to answer your questions anytime.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. So that's it for our presentation portion. We'll go ahead and move to the Q&A. We'll answer questions that were submitted ahead of time, as well as some that came up in the chat during the presentation. And the chat feature is still open. So if anyone has questions that kind of pop into their head now, feel free to ask it. So I'll start with some that we received prior to the webinar. Someone asked if they have to have electric heat to receive rebates. So I guess what they're asking is for the heat pumps. So yes, in order to receive a rebate on heat pumps, you would have to switch to electric heat. As I mentioned, we don't offer rebates on boilers or furnaces, anything like that. Someone asked what kind of rebates we offer for increasing the insulation in a home. Kevin, did you speak to amounts at all for insulation rebates?
I didn't. I was kind of getting a little content heavy, so I figured we could just throw them a link to the site and have them up there.
Yeah. Yep. So that there will be a link in the follow-up email that will give insight as to the amounts we offer for increasing insulation. Someone asked if air conditioning units are available for rebates, or does it have to be a heat pump? Yep, that would have to be a heat pump. And somebody else asked, if I install solar panels, is the financing through the installation company or through MGED? Danny, could you speak to that one?
Yes, so not through us, that would be through the company. We don't do any financing that way.
And we received, I think, one more that we didn't answer during the webinar. Danielle asked if there is a list of pre-approved solar companies.
So on the link in the follow-up email, you'll see the solar guide. So we do have a list of local contractors, but we cannot make suggestions on who to work with. Also, another way to go about this would be to schedule a free consultation with a BODE. They help give some suggestions on vetted contractors that have worked in the area, and also just help with doing the solar for your home. So those are two options that you can use, and both will be in the follow-up email.
May I
Awesome.
add something to the solar installer? We can't recommend contractors. However, there are a few tips I would give someone. Make sure that your installer, it is written in the contract that they are responsible for basically submitting your rebate application, both to Middleborough Gas and Electric, but also doing the rebate application, because a lot of the time they disappear. The homeowner is left to figure out what a locus meter is. I would get that written into your contract as a rider, because of course it's not standard in the solar contracts. And two, hold back a little money. Do like the last little bit of payment is when you receive your rebate from Middleborough. Otherwise, it's once they get the final payment, unfortunately, most installers are kind of out of there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah.
Just quickly back to that first question. It was a little vague, and maybe I can help a little bit. You can be rebated for heat pumps if you leave your existing system in there as a secondary system. Like, I don't know if they were asking, did you have to go 100% electric to get a rebate?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So leaving your current heating system as a supplemental unit, but also, you know, getting a heat pump. Yep. So you can have both and be rebated for heat pumps. That's true. So if there's no more questions, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us this afternoon to learn about MGED's rebates and how to get them. If you have any last minute questions, we're still here. We can answer them. And if not, thanks again for coming. You'll receive a follow-up email with all the resources that we covered, with links to everything. So hopefully you didn't, hastily jot down notes as we went through. And you'll also get a recording of the webinar in case there is anything you wanted to hear again, and it'll be available on our YouTube. And just a reminder, you're always welcome to call MGED during business hours at 508-947-1371. Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening.